Go. Okay, welcome back everybody, and in case you're wondering what I'm going to be reviewing today, as you couldn't see by my clever use of the background, I'm going to be reviewing Godzilla King of the Monsters. By the way, I really wish that they would come up with more original titles, because this is literally the name of the 1956 American re-edit with Raymond Burr. And as you can obviously see by that huge stack of Godzilla Blu-rays and DVDs I have up there, I'm a huge fan of Godzilla. Of course, the first one I saw was the original one with Raymond Burr from 1956, the American re-edit. And so I really was looking forward to this movie, and the other day I ended up rewatching the 2014 version. I will admit it's not as great as I remember it to be, but it isn't bad. There are a lot of good stuff in it. Bryan Cranston is great. The first act is great. Godzilla's design, at least he looks more like Godzilla as opposed to the other giant lizard movie that TriStar financed that just so happened to be called Godzilla. But there were several problems that I have with the movie. I felt like a lot of the human characters were bland and forgettable except for Bryan Cranston, but they killed him off in the first act. That was stupid. I thought it was stupid the fact that every single time the monsters were about to fight, they would always cut away from when the monsters were about to battle, and you would only see the aftermath, and they only fought until the end. That was dumb. 3. A lack of Godzilla. I'm pretty sure he's only in the movie for about like 11 minutes total for a 2-hour movie, I think. But yeah, there were a lot more complaints that I had about it, but overall, I would give it a 7 because I thought it was okay. Then with Kong Skull Island, I thought it was really good, and I liked how it set up the idea of, Kong fighting Godzilla in, 2020, which is something that you're going to be looking forward to next year when I review Godzilla vs. Kong. But with this film, this is going to be the latest installment, and it might be the best out of all of them so far. But it's not perfect. First, I'm going to start out with the things that were the negatives. I thought the human storyline was a bit, how do I put this? Not all that great, I will say. Not terrible, but not great. I definitely thought the human characters in this were an improvement over the ones in the 2014 version, but they're not incredible. But then again, that's not the point of a Godzilla movie. The point of a Godzilla film is the monsters. How are the monsters? The monsters are great. Man, I gotta give mad props to the cinematographer for this, and not only that, but the visual effects artist, because the way they're able to show off the monsters is absolutely incredible. One shot in particular is the scene in which Mothra emerges from her cocoon under the water fountain, and you see her wings emerge from the waterfall, and you see she has this glow to her, and it's so good. Not only that, but the action sequences are absolutely breathtaking. The final battle with Ghidorah near the end was absolutely incredible. And not only that, but Godzilla's in the movie a lot more than you think he might be, which makes sense. You literally see I'm pretty sure the opening shot of him is in the beginning, and you see him, but it's a flashback to 2014, but he's in a lot of the movie. Like, he's in a majority of the film, if not all of it. Not only that, but, you're gonna also see the fact that I gave a musical credit in here, and when you look in the description, because I always like to list the people who directed, wrote, and starred in the film. Sometimes I will add an additional credit to the people who I really want to be able to acknowledge. I want to really be able to acknowledge Bear McCreary's score in this. And in case you're wondering who Bear McCreary is, he's a really, really good composer. He composed a lot of the episodes for The Walking Dead, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. He composed themes to a lot of other movies like Colossal. And he was even part of the Angry Video Game Nerd, as he composed the music for that movie, and even composed the music for How the Nerds Stole Christmas, which is super cool. I love Bear McCreary's score. The score is absolutely amazing. First of all, gotta give mad props to the fact that they used the original themes for all of the characters. You hear the original Godzilla theme from 1954. You hear the theme for Mothra. You hear Ghidorah's theme. You hear a lot of the themes from the original movies, except they're done in a different way that still feels familiar, yet totally different. I really, really like that. And not only that, but the original stuff that Bear McCreary composed as well, I thought was really, really, really good too. this is just an absolutely great score. So yeah, if you just want to be able to... So yeah, final thoughts. Godzilla King of the Monsters is absolutely incredible. Don't listen to what the critics say. This is a really good monster movie. And if you're in the mood for a really good monster movie, with really good action and music, you're going to be in for a treat. Sure, the human characters might not be all that great, but they're bearable enough for you to be able to help get through the film. And they also be able to have sort of an environmental message there too. So, overall, I would give Godzilla King of the Monsters an 8.5 out of 10. Now we're going to talk about the ending, because I want to be able to give my score and my spoiler-free thoughts before I give my spoiler thoughts. In fact, I'm actually going to give you some time to actually leave so it doesn't I don't spoil it for you, because this is a really good movie and I really want you to check it out. Okay. Still good? Great. The ending is absolutely incredible. Throughout the movie, there are several Easter eggs that they have littered throughout. Like, for example, when Godzilla and Ghidorah finally meet, their stances and poses are similar to when they ended up fighting in the 1991 version of Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah. Not only that, but near the end, when Godzilla is unleashing his thermonuclear power, it looks like a modern-day version of his Destroyer form in Godzilla vs. Destroyer! It's not actually Destroyer, it's Destroyer! Don't believe me, look it up. But I love that too. And also, even though Mothra supposedly died in this movie, Mothra is actually immortal because she can actually be able to reincarnate herself by re-emerging via her eggs and becoming a caterpillar Mothra again. In fact, the ending shows after Ghidorah is defeated by Godzilla, all the monsters, including Rodan and several originals, bow to Godzilla because he's the king of the monsters. And as the end credit sequence shows, it shows the fact that Monarch is investigating Skull Island as a lot of the Titans are going there, and a Mothra egg was found there, and a cave painting of Kong fighting Godzilla. I'm excited. And also, they show the post-credit scene in this. There is a post-credit scene in this as well. There's a scene in which you see the main bad guy character in this. He goes to a fisherman and he finds him. He has the severed head of Ghidorah. You see, Godzilla and Ghidorah fight each other multiple times throughout the movie. The first time they fought, I'm pretty sure Godzilla decapitated one of the heads of Ghidorah, but Ghidorah regenerated it, and the fisherman ended up taking that, and the villain ended up purchasing it for his own nefarious means. So I do think that there are more long-term plans that they do have after Godzilla vs. Kong, because that might actually be a really good setup, because they might introduce the idea of a Mecha Ghidorah in this, which is super cool. And I also really hope the fact that we see a version of Mecha Godzilla show up here too. But yeah, that's my review of Godzilla King of the Monsters. So tune in later in this week, because I'm actually going to be posting a review of Rocket Man, which is why I have a Queen shirt on, because, you know, Queen, Elton John, classical music, the singers were British, very interesting similarities, but I am going to be having a review of it come up tomorrow, so stick around for that. And as always, stay gold.